The future of aesthetic medicine, and it's very much so the present already, is that aesthetic medicine, obviously it's the non-surgical side of aesthetics. I think more and more procedures are being done non-surgically. So I think even some of the procedures at the moment we can now do non-surgically. And I think not only will a lot of the aesthetic treatments go towards non-surgical aesthetics, but I think aesthetic medicine is very much moving into a new direction where it's becoming more and more natural.
Basically, with minimally invasive techniques, render someone more beautiful, enhance someone's looks.
The whole field of aesthetic medicine has changed that. I never imagined that we would be able to apply treatments non-surgically that would have such an impact on people, whether it's adding volume, whether it's relaxing muscles, whether it's improving the texture and tone of the skin. We can see now that our treatments not only have a massive impact on the way somebody looks, more importantly, it's the way they feel.
My motivation to go to the clinic every day and to treat patients is actually still this moment of happiness and luck. And when they look at the mirror after the treatment and saying, wow, I look so fresh, I don't need a concealer anymore, and I'm so happy what you have done. This is still something that makes me very happy.
And we talk a lot about the scientific things. We talk a lot about anatomy and tissues and arteries and also the product rheologies, but sometimes we forget that the artistic part is really the reason why patients come and see us. So I want to go beyond what the industry tells us what we should look like, or Instagram tells us what we should look like. No, we have to look inside, and we really have to feel from our inside how we want to be perceived by the world and how we want to express ourselves. And if a patient would recommend me for something, that is the thing that I think I would be most proud of.
Most patients wouldn't want to look like a Picasso, for instance, you know. I think the artistic thing can be too far. I would be very happy with, say, artisan or craftsman. And as long as how you see the patient and your goals overlap enough with their goals, I think that should be fine.
Our eye sees what our brain knows. What I try to do is stand back and look at what I see first. I don't try and formulate a plan, and then my plan is different for everyone. For me to improve their face, to balance it more, to make it more harmonized, but make it not look like I did anything to them.
Looking natural, looking individually, looking yourself, and not becoming someone else. So I'm afraid that we might lose ourselves into the future by chasing something that we are not.
Patients who come seeking aesthetic improvement often have a poor self-image of themselves, and they compare themselves to media personalities and also to their own selfies, which they often edit. So they're not seeing their true self. And the problem is getting them to understand that they're not as ugly as they think they are, and also what looks good on one person may not look good on them.
This idea of beauty shifts, right? It shifts as you get older, it shifts in different patients, and it's also probably following to a certain extent some trends.
One of the important things we have to do is to educate people and actually make the world a better place.
I'm a speaker, we're gonna all teach here, but we learn. So if I come out of any meeting with a very small tip that will help me in my practice, it's worth every coming.
So the most beautiful part about my job is meeting these amazing, wonderful people who come to me as patients, and we go on a journey together. And that has changed my life, so it's beautiful.
It's a way to help them to find themselves in front of the mirror.
When they look at the mirror, I want to teach them to look through the mirror to understand what is the real beauty in themselves.
To make a difference, and by doing so, empowering my patients to feel their trust which in turn is also the most difficult part of my job.
Aesthetic treatments are becoming more acceptable. There are more and more different treatments out there. People are becoming more skilled, and we are continuing to be able to change people's lives positively. And with all that, I see the future as being very bright.
The combination of medicine and technology is going to give even better result to our patients with minimizing the downtime, and of course I think the growth is going to be even higher the next upcoming years.
Really important that with what we do, that we are always learning and training. It never ends. This is something that actually I do enjoy a lot of. That's why I'm here, at the Tamc conference, learning from my peers, sharing my knowledge, and at the same time, having a great time, right?
I was here last year and I enjoyed it very much. We had a lot of fun and I learned a lot. It was really interesting, and that's why I decided to return again this year. And it's beautiful here in Dubrovnik, so of course I had to come for another year.
We can now be healthy in the 70s and 80s, and not just young without disease. There are now supplements, there are lifestyle changes that we can do. NAD is the buzzword. I think the big buzz, the room was full, everyone was excited at the end. So I think aesthetic medicine, the future of it is we can combine the regenerative treatments to the face, not just Botox and fillers, they'll still be around. We're actually going to within treat people and explain to people how to do the anti-aging from within.
You've got the best speakers, you've got the best AV, you've got the best setups. I can't wait to be here again next year.
Robin is such a beautiful, small place. So I think this is going to be even maybe more satisfying experience for people coming that long way to Croatia to be at Tamc next year.
If we can bring the same enthusiasm and passion to Ravine next year that we've managed in Dubrovnik all these times, it's going to be a magnificent congress.
Come to Ravine. We're going to stay at Hotel Lone, which is even nicer than here. And the fun's going to be as good as here. The lectures are going to be even better. We've got amazing plans for even better speakers, if that's possible. See you in Ravine in 2023.